In three, two, one.
So, Shuchi Talati and Richa Chadha, congratulations. It's a lovely film. And Richa, special congratulations to you for the baby as well. And for a great year, Hira Mandi was terrific. I think one of the most moving performances I've seen in from you. And Shuchi and Richa, the film is so moving. I'm sorry to use that word twice already, but especially, there are some scenes that are really like it's like plunging a knife into your heart. That scene where Kani is trying to dress her daughter in the sari and she refuses her. The way Kani's face falls, there's such lovely moments in the film, and the relationship between the two is so beautifully done. So many congratulations. Talk about how you pulled off this miracle.
Uh, Thank you. I don't know. For me, the quest is always for truthfulness,
Yeah,
uh, and to not simplify the complexity of people's psychology or their behavior, and to try and hold all of that together. So to have a mother who's trying to give her daughter freedoms, at the same time feeling sad and envious, a little bit angry, and
yes,
all of that complex soup that we carry within ourselves, to not
right.
simplify and then to find the perfect way to tell it. And then
Yeah,
to really, I think the second way I look for truthfulness is in the interaction. Sometimes in life, we are not able to say, I'm angry, I'm hurt,
yeah,
I love
yeah,
you. Because in life, actually, these things carry a risk. Someone may reject you. To be angry with, express anger to somebody you love is dangerous. To express sadness is dangerous because you feel maybe you'll be seen as weak, as vulnerable. They won't care. So, sometimes in cinema, we just let characters say whatever because there's not that risk that we feel in life. And I really wanted that risk to be palpable. So, in this scene where they're tussling over whether the mother can help the daughter
yeah,
put on the sari or not, it is actually all that tussle is all the
yeah,
things that they would like to say to each other but can't.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And without of course giving too much away, but at the end, again, when really Kani comes to save her literally from that feral pack of boys, and it's such a terrifying scene. And the way she does that so selflessly in that moment. I mean, it's every mother, you know. It's every mother who, no matter what the child is or the child has said to her, that love and that fierce protectiveness, that again comes through. So I've not seen very often, mothers tend to be sort of idealized in movies. You don't really see their reality of them. So I think that was what was remarkable about this film. You see the reality of motherhood. It isn't always as terrific as it's, you know, advertised, right? I think Richa will agree with me as well. I mean, there's a lot of pain and heartbreak in being a mom, right?
I mean, it's too, right now, there's no heartbreak. Right now, I'm on the clock. For I wish I could turn this around. I'm sitting at my study table and I have a to-do list which basically mentions the at 2 hour intervals, the feed timings and the mls that were used, almost like 120 ml, 100 ml. So right now it's all good. Right now there's no heartbreak. But I guess, yeah, I mean, I think I always feel like all our mothers must have done so many things and done them quietly, without knowing these many. Like, I feel like the terms like gaslighting and uh, uh, these are all new inventions
Yeah,
to help us understand the emotions that we are going through. I don't think that postpartum was discussed so openly, or I don't like, there's so much that goes on in a woman's
right,
life straight from when I mean, I discovered something new about Shuchi just in the last interview, in the way she
right,
observes her own mother, in the way that,
right,
in a way, when a woman leaves her own house and moves into somebody else's house, it's like entering enemy territory, but as a
right.
client person who's supposed to follow the rules of that house and that establishment, and then
Yeah,
the rules become ingrained in you, and then you carry them like a pawn of that establishment, and so much goes on in a
yeah,
woman's life. So I feel I love the fact that the gaze of the film has a lot of tenderness and a lot of dignity uh,
yeah,
for the women, for the characters, like for the young girl, for the young mother. It has a lot of dignity and compassion, and that's what is moving.
yeah.
That is the thing that becomes moving for people, because you realize that it can be done like this also.
Exactly. And you don't see it, and it's so sad. And you don't even see even sexuality. You don't see it depicted like this. When the young woman is in the bath, the way
Mm.
she's experimenting, you don't ever see these scenes. Women are never allowed to express their sexuality.
I mean, the sexuality, I used to look at, this is interesting. I used to look at women in the past, like whether it was like Wahida Rehman or Helen, and when they would do these
Yeah,
massive dances, even if it was a
yeah,
little bit sexy, the gaze was never the male gaze. The idea was that there's a woman that's enjoying herself, and she's
yeah,
also enjoying being looked at. But now
yeah,
I feel like that everything is catered to the male gaze. Even something as small as your phone, you're making a reel, the angles in which you choose. And I find, I mean, I thank God this film is set in the 90s, and you don't have to deal with that one more additional layer of sort of interpretation.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Richa, as an actor, I wanted to ask you, and this is very important because as an actor, you see a role like this, and you have to be awfully generous to want to give it to someone else in a way. You're the producer here. You must have been tempted to play Kani's character. It's such a fantastic role, or were you not?
No, no, not at all. We were, first of all, Shuchi is my friend, but I can't take for granted that she will give me a part. If it had to be me, would have had to audition like all the others. And
Right,
Kani very fairly came through an audition after beating many other fantastic actresses for that part. That's one. But second thing, it was never it didn't cross my mind because I don't know how to produce. This is my first film.
right.
You imagine, and it needed 100% focus. This is not an easy performance. I think
Yeah.
what Kani has done in the film,
Oh,
even though, Mira's character is the protagonist, what she's done with even her hand tapping the boy's shoulder
yeah,
at the
yeah,
dining table,
yeah,
when not even in frame,
yeah,
is so beautiful. It takes an actor of extreme training, craft, and security to be able to, do this. So I don't know. First of all, I think Kani is just excellent in the film. I'm a
yeah,
total Kani fan. And second, like I said, it didn't cross my mind also, though it came as a suggestion, but at some point when we had to raise funds. But
yeah. Oh,
I would have been
yeah.
able to wear two hats, and like there was so much stress with this production, it was not possible at all.
And
I,
now when you look at the reception, Shuchi, all that is worth it because it's been loved and it's been embraced quite wholeheartedly, isn't it? In a year anyway, where women are doing fantastic work, I think it was just time that all the women had to just sort of tell the men in the world that hello, just stay off the screen for a while. Let's make let our movies be seen. What a year it's been, right?
It's been an incredible year. I mean, just and I'm really, I don't know if like people keep asking, is this a wave? I don't know if it is a wave. I don't know if it is a coincidence that all of our films were
Yeah,
made at the same time and they all had uh, great success. I hope it's a wave. I hope it continues next year. But whether next year there's as many women who have successful films or not, I do think it's a trend. Oh, overall, whether year to year it's the same or not, like I do hope and think that it's a trend, and I'm really honored to be in this company. And yeah, I mean, in one sense, the reception and the love and people coming out crying and saying, "I want to call my mom," and I have never
yeah.
felt
That's
seen in
the
this
that's
way.
the first reaction.
Yeah, I want to call my mom. I haven't felt seen in this way before. Or about the hand kissing, the shower scene that you
Yeah,
reference. How did you know? It's because everyone has done it. Everyone has
yeah,
done some version of it. So all of that is wonderful. Though does it completely make up for the years of pain and suffering, Richa?
yeah,
I don't. I would have taken some easier years.
Yeah,
uh,
I
uh,
yeah, certainly. Yeah, I mean, but you know what? Your first one is always going to be special and very difficult.
yeah.
But I want to say, Shuchi, you will know the true extent of the love of this film. Right now, people have seen it in like festivals and in smaller
yeah,
screenings that we've had. You are not prepared for the like the wave of love that's going to come gushing towards you when when the film is accessible to people, when they can
yeah,
watch it on their devices, whether on the phone, whether on the big screen, in the quiet of their houses. Then you will truly know. Like, I cannot wait. And I mean, people have been asking about this, cinema versus OTT release. I think this is strategically perfect for this film.
yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about the male gaze, we talk about the men in our movies. Two tight slaps to that boy, right? I mean, he is everything that, you know, such a manipulative shit he is. So I'm so glad that he's projected that way, because often such people are our heroes. But here, because you've done it so well, you actually see him for who he is. Uh, talk about him.
Well, I mean, first I would say I really love all my characters, including him, I see
Yeah,
that
I'm
he
sure, but
no, but really, I see that he has he uses manipulative tactics in a way that are hurtful. Uh,
yeah,
but I also see him as a boy whose parents are kind of missing. He has moved around. He
like a
has
lost boy
he's learned this as a way of, it's a
coping.
coping mechanism. He goes from place to place and he figures out that if he gives people what they want, they like him. And it comes from a deep sense of like actually like a lack of self and a deep loneliness and insecurity. But it's true that in life, these very charming, manipulative men, we often get into positions of power. We are
Yeah.
attracted to them, and but this is the joy of writing a teenager in your 30s, that you can give the teenager the wisdom that you did not have at that age, to
Yeah,
see this boy clearly for who he is, and not to completely say you're a terrible person or something,
yeah,
but
yeah,
no, thank you. I don't want
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Not right.
And we hope you grow out of this
Yeah,
and you don't.
exactly. With kind of a firmness
Yeah,
and a kindness to
yeah,
be like, no. Uh,
yeah. Richa, you've encountered boys like that who have never grown up and who are now posing as 30-year-old, 40-year-old men.
Posing meaning what? They are 40-year-old men.
They are 40-year-old men, but they're actually that manipulative 18-year-old shit.
That manipulative 18-year-old shit. See that I will still discount the 18-year-old shit because maybe he just wants hot food from like home cooked meals, and he's just a
As
kid
simple
who
as
lacks
that.
authority. I feel like Shuchi still has a lot of compassion in how he's dealt with. You never see red horns come out of his head. But you
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
and to be honest, in the end, when he says, I'm free next weekend or whatever, and nobody responds to him, he
Yeah,
cuts like a pathetic figure, and he sort of,
very.
no words are spoken, he leaves. So
Yeah,
it's like a love that that was so intense and so passionate, and then it lives its purpose, and then it's gone. And we've
yeah,
all had those growing up encounters. So I look at him like that. Like, I mean, if I would meet him, it'd probably be some pot-bellied slightly balding person, in some tech company who'd be like, oh, when I was young, I was quite a player, and like
Yep.
those, or uh, maybe that sad old person in the disco in the end, like looking at everyone and being like, hey, but not realizing that their time is up. So
Yeah,
I mean, the world is full of man children, isn't it?
yeah, of
Uh,
course.
it's just sweet little boys with daddy issues that,
Yeah,
the African proverb, love a child correctly, otherwise it'll burn the village down to feel
absolutely.
the warmth. So
Yeah,
that's what it is. This is a lonely, somewhat neglected child who's saying, my
yeah,
parents do their own thing, I do mine. And sad to say, but the world is full of them, like, and we have
yeah.
to deal with them. But we can choose not to, like Shuchi said. We can just be like, no.
Which is the good thing about this film, and I, wish we did more of that in real life. No,
Mm.
thank you. Saying no is the hardest thing, isn't it, anyway?
Yeah,
Yeah, especially for women who are socialized to
Yeah.
be agreeable
We're
and
so
nice.
socialized to say yes, thank you, please, come, screw me some more, screw me over, screw me, everything, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So,
But we live with that.
yeah. Richa, I know this is girls will be girls, but I just want to ask you a quick question about Hira Mandi as well, because there is as well, there's so much pain in you in that sequence where you're dancing, and uh, that again is so heartbreaking. I think it's one of the most heartbreaking scenes of the year. Uh, how much of that was what just
It,
acting?
oh yeah, that was definitely acting. There's no way I would be that sad about a man, first of all. Or there's no way I would put myself through that much public humiliation for the sake of love. But again, I wanted to say that I wanted in that portrayal to have extreme lack of agency, because first I get accused of playing powerful women a lot. And I
Yeah,
can't tell you how softened how much it has softened my image to play that woman with no agency who cries and basically drinks
yeah,
herself to death. Everyone's like, wow, you were so good in it, and now you're a mom, and like it's like, but my quest to play it with humanity was that only. If someone goes home and looks at their mother differently, because I
yeah,
played that character with humanity, and they can understand the dynamic between their own parents or their own girlfriend and their own sister, like my job is done. Sometimes people are on a self-destructive path and they choose to
yeah.
be delusional, in many scenarios, as opposed to this. So, yeah.
No, you take care. And Shachi, thank you both of you for a wonderful film. I hope this is the beginning of a beautiful partnership. You do much more together.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I hope,
I would call dibs on anything Shuchi makes.
yeah, I think so. I think
Uh,
you guys make for a great team, and I hope you do much more. And just the fact that also it has such wonderful fresh faces, and Preeti and Kani, they're all so good. So congratulations. You can't wait for the world to see it. I can't wait for the world to see it as well.
Thank
Been
you so much.
championing this film for a while. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Kaveri.
Thank you. Take care.
Just kind
Yeah,
words.
all the
Bye.
best.
Thank
Bye.
you.